The haunting slumber party. Sleepovers had always been a source of joy during my childhood. But on one fateful night, a seemingly innocent slumber party would turn into a nightmarish ordeal. It was the night of my best friend Emma's birthday, and she had invited a small group of us to spend the night at her family's old, creaking mansion. As the evening progressed, laughter and games filled the mansion's dimly lit rooms. Emma's parents were away, and we had the place to ourselves. As the clock neared midnight, we decided to explore the mansion's forgotten attic. It was said to be a place of eerie relics, and we couldn't resist the allure of the unknown. The attic was a maze of dusty old furniture, cobweb-covered trunks, and forgotten family heirlooms. Among the relics, we found a peculiar, ancient ouija board, its wooden plaquette inviting us to make contact with the spirit world. With a mix of curiosity and trepidation, we began to use the board, asking if any spirits were present. As we touched the plaquette, an unsettling energy filled the room, and the atmosphere grew heavy with unease. The plaquette moved on its own, spelling out a name: Evelyn. It was the name of Emma's long-deceased great-grandmother. Panic set in as we realized that we were not alone in the attic. The temperature dropped, and the room seemed to come alive with spectral figures. They whispered to us, their voices filled with sorrow and longing. They spoke of a dark secret hidden within the mansion's walls, a secret that had been buried for generations. As the spirits closed in on us, we tried to flee the attic, but the door had vanished. We were trapped in a realm where the living and the dead converged. The spirits implored us to uncover the truth, to bring to light the dark secret that had haunted their restless souls. The memory of the haunting slumber party still haunts me. A chilling reminder that even the most innocent of games can lead to the darkest of discoveries. The forgotten friend. Sleepovers with my friends had always been a source of cherished memories. But on one eerie night, a sleepover would lead to a chilling encounter with a forgotten friend. It was the birthday of my best friend, Sarah, and she had invited a small group of us to spend the night at her family's remote cabin in the woods. The cabin was a place of serenity, surrounded by tall trees and the calming sounds of nature. Little did we know that it was also the place where a long-forgotten friend had met a tragic end. As we gathered around the campfire, telling stories and sharing laughter, a strange sensation settled over the group. It felt as if someone was watching us, a presence that lurked just beyond the edge of the woods. We dismissed it as a trick of the imagination, but as the night wore on, the sensation grew more intense. In the dead of night, we heard faint whispers in the air, voices that seemed to belong to a child. They spoke of a friend who had been left behind, a friend who had met a tragic end in the woods. Panic set in as we realized that we were not alone. A spectral figure appeared before us, a child who seemed to belong to another era. The figure whispered, "You left me behind, and now I must be found." Its voice was filled with sorrow and longing. It implored us to search the woods, to uncover the truth, and to bring peace to a forgotten friend. We tried to flee, but the cabin's surroundings had become a nightmarish labyrinth. The spectral figure pursued us, its presence a chilling reminder that the past, and the present were intertwined. As we ventured into the woods, we uncovered the truth of a forgotten friend. A child who had met a tragic end in the very woods where we stood. The spectral figure thanked us, its form dissolving into the night. And we realized that we had brought closure to a long-forgotten soul. The memory of the forgotten friend still haunts me. A chilling reminder that the past has a way of resurfacing when it is least expected. The haunting board game. On a rainy Saturday night, my friends and I gathered for a sleepover at my house. We were in the mood for something different. So we decided to play a mysterious board game that I had discovered hidden away in the attic, an old, dusty game called The Haunting. Little did we know that the game would bring the horrors of the supernatural world into our lives. The game's board was adorned with eerie symbols, and the instructions warned of its power to connect with the spirit world. As we began to play, the room seemed to grow colder, and the air was filled with a sinister energy. As we moved our pieces on the board, the plankette spelled out words and messages from the beyond. It spoke of a malevolent spirit that had been awakened, a spirit that had been trapped within the game for centuries. Panic set in as we realized that we had unwittingly unleashed a vengeful force. The lights flickered, and the room was filled with ghostly apparitions, their eyes hollow and filled with anger. They reached out to us, their fingers like ice, and their voices a haunting chorus. They demanded that we complete the game, to release the spirit from its eternal prison. We tried to flee, but the room had become a nightmarish realm, and the apparitions pursued us, their spectral forms blocking every exit. We were trapped in a place where the living and the dead had become intertwined. As we continued to play the game, we uncovered the spirit's tragic history, a tale of betrayal and revenge. We completed the game, and the malevolent spirit was set free, disappearing into the night. The memory of the haunting board game still haunts me. A chilling reminder that some games are not meant to be played, and that the supernatural world can be closer than we ever imagined.